What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another movie review from the CultureVerse podcast. Today
Half
we
of it.
have half of it. Today if you guys haven't realized, this happens a lot, but we have myself and Caleb again doing a movie review as we went and saw the new Paul Thomas Anderson movie, One Battle After Another.
Well, have you heard about this movie? I haven't heard anything about this at all.
I've not seen anything on social
I,
media.
I,
I've heard it sucks.
I like it. I liken this to Broke. I think nobody's seen this before us.
I agree. I agree. I think I'm assuming it doesn't have a whole lot of views on Letterboxd.
No,
Let
nothing.
me let me check really quick. It's been out for a couple weeks. There's
2 views,
169,000 reviews. Not too bad given this came out what, 4 days ago?
and that's just the reviews. How many watches? Like
Oh yeah, that's
500.
the watches 397,000.
It's not as crazy as Superman's, but it's pretty insane. For
In case you guys couldn't tell, obviously we're being sarcastic. This is a huge movie right now. A lot of people are already penciling this in to win tons of awards. It's got a lot, starring Leo. Yeah, but we'll just kind of get into our review here. Do we want to just throw out our
I think we
ratings
probably just need.
immediately, or how do you
Honestly, I
want
think
to
we
do
just need to rip the Band-Aid off. Probably.
it? Just rip it
I
off?
think it's just gonna make this conversation more
Okay,
authentic than dancing around.
and that's fair. You want to go or you want me to go? It's up to you.
I went first last time, so you go.
All right. I gave. Oh, obviously, before we start as well, spoiler warning. We're gonna get into spoilers, but you can stay for this part if you want to hear our rating. I gave One Battle After Another a one and a half. No, I'm kidding. I gave One Battle After Another a 4.5 out of 5 stars. Gail, what'd you give it?
I gave it a 4.
There you go.
And what is insane to say that is a half star under the current.
That is kind of crazy to say. And I've seen people posting fours and they're like, man, this was the most disappointing, man. I can't believe it's only, I was like, what? So,
And I'm probably gonna be not to shake you. I'm
yeah.
similar to that where I gave it a 4, and I'm still
Mhm.
like, how am I? Like, I don't understand how I'm like that. I'm in the minority right
You're
now.
on the lower side. I'll say I was easily between a 4 and 4.5, not between a 4.5 and a 5. It was 4.5 was if the stars aligned and I wrote my review and it hit right and it did. So,
I was at a 4.5 to a 3.5, and I think I
whoa.
fell. I
Mhm.
was never thinking a 5, and
Yeah,
so
no, I wasn't either.
um, I I I guess we can just kind of jump into it.
Yeah, yeah,
I
for sure.
think I think this movie just I left the movie theater scratching my head a little bit. And I
Hmm.
know you had a great time with this movie. I
Hmm.
think kind of from what I'm picking up from you is you don't think it's as peak as people are saying. Because first
It's
and
not like the
foremost,
greatest movie.
no,
Yeah.
first and foremost, a 4.5 debut on Letterboxd is genuinely insane. That is ridiculous. I have never seen a movie debut.
No.
There's only 2 movies I've seen since I've been like hardcore, Letterboxd watching
Hmm.
that I've seen rise. Usually it's like the pop and then it drops a little bit because I mean, obviously, like,
More people saying it
yes.
more.
Um, this and Sinners are the only 2 movies I've seen rise from the
Hmm.
critics because the critics dropped theirs, which means general audiences are liking this movie more than the critics, which
Yeah.
is my brain can't even process that because that does not happen very
Hmm.
often, not very
Yeah.
often.
Yeah.
And so I think when I left the theater, I kind of scratched my head a little bit because I just don't see it. I don't see it fully. I see what is presented and I get it.
Yeah.
It just didn't really, and this is my big problem that I guess I know we're starting with problems, which is crazy with this movie,
We can
but
go wherever, man.
this movie just really failed to connect with me emotionally at all.
That I am really glad you said that.
Because
That's my biggest problem,
it's it's
which is crazy given the goal. The
it's yeah.
one thing I specifically said is, especially with characters outside of Bob and Willa, which is Leo and his daughter, I, I had a hard time genuinely caring about almost anybody other
I,
than Sensei. I like
I'll take it
Sensei.
a step further. I really don't care about most of the characters.
Yeah, that's fair.
If I agree that I those two are like, I have something
They're your
towards them,
main story.
but
It's
it's not like I'm gonna in 10 years be like, God, Bob Ferguson's one of the best characters I've ever seen. He's not.
yeah.
Like, he's cool.
Hmm.
He's not.
Right.
When I think of Leonardo DiCaprio in 10 years, I just simply will not think of this role for him. I mean, like, as a movie, it'll be like something like it's a It's a
Hmm.
star, like, be a note with him forever. I just don't, and his performance is good too. I don't want to say that's not good. I
Hmm.
just don't think that this movie really has him as a great character. I
Hmm.
think my biggest problem, and I know you said it's your biggest problem too, it's the fact that I didn't, the main selling points of the emotional points just don't hit me. And the biggest thing is, I know our friend Connor, friend of the show,
Hmm.
put this in his review too. The letter scene with at the end with
Yes.
their mom,
Yep.
is that supposed to be sad?
Uh, Airball. Airball,
Like
frankly.
I'm sitting there and I'm like,
Yeah, I felt the same way.
when you get 25 minutes with the mom, that's,
Hmm.
I mean, 20, like, that's it. You
That's
get
generous. Like it
25
might have been
minutes,
like 15. Like it was,
and
yeah.
and she's portrayed as a rat. And I
Hmm.
get that these are very, um there's so many, these characters are so layered, which is impressive.
Hmm.
But when you go for a full on, um like, your selling point is this being a sad moment, you
Yeah.
can't have these layered characters and with little screen time.
Hmm.
Like, I just think that when she was reading the letter, I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
every reference of the mom during the story,
Hmm.
I just kind of shrugged. Like,
Yeah.
I just don't really, I don't really care. So I guess that's your point on that.
That's one of the biggest things I wrote down is I mentioned like I really liked. I will say there is a point where you and I do disagree when what you said, and that is with Bob Ferguson. I love his performance. It actually is probably one of my favorite Leo performances.
That's fair.
Outside of that, there's almost nobody. I mean, I think Sensei is funny, and I like his scenes. And Willa, obviously, like you're supposed to like Willa, like. But other than that, and one of the biggest things I wrote down was, yeah, the mom. I don't care. Like I have zero preference for her. And the other thing that frustrates me is you talk about you can't have these layered characters and then try to throw shoe in this one, especially in a 2 hour 40-minute movie. How did you not get her more screen time if you wanted her to be the big selling point? Like you had time. I promise you had time. Like that's one of my biggest problems. I'm really glad you mentioned that. Is like that just doesn't make sense to me. Like it's not emotional the way that you think it is, and it sucks because you I wanted it to be like I wanted them to land the plane. And honestly, I'll take a step farther, which I'll get into more. I didn't like the ending. The final like 30 minutes of this movie didn't sit with me the way I wanted it to. Like I wanted it to end higher, on a bigger bang, and it didn't. Which I'll get into that more. But what were your thoughts on just the ending in general?
So that's okay. So my first problem is the thing with the mom not connecting with me. Like,
Yep.
the second problem is in the same vein, and it's
Hmm.
towards the ending. I I didn't get anything from when they reunite, Bob and Willa.
Hmm.
How many minutes were they on screen together? Less
Oh,
than,
jeez.
it's less than the mom.
Yeah,
I mean, I know they
absolutely.
get their own screen time for a long time. How much do we see Bob and Will together? 10 minutes.
Yeah,
They're at the door when they're leaving for the dance, and that's a funny
yeah,
scene. Like, it's a cool scene.
yeah.
Simply put, I can't feel like a wave of relief when they
Mhm.
reunite. Like, I get they just went through an insane, like, it's one battle after another for them. but
Oh, you said
but
it.
but I, like, they're not, I didn't see them together to where I'm like, oh my gosh, this dad and their daughter, I saw so much of them together and I'm so happy. Like, obviously I'm like, oh, that's nice.
Yeah,
They're back.
yeah,
Yay. But
yeah.
I'm not like tearing up because of
Hmm.
some great overcome, beat the odds thing it
Yeah,
thinks it is.
right.
It's just a cute little moment. It's like, it's a bow on top of the story. That's literally
Yeah,
it. And it's
yeah,
supposed to be more than that, I think.
yeah. No, I get what you're saying. I absolutely get what you're saying. And maybe this is a little bit of a knock to some of the acting is I also just don't feel like they sell it too hard. Like they don't feel, let me put it this way. This is a crazy comparison. In season one of The Last of Us, I feel Pedro and Pascal and Bella Ramsey's connection significantly more
Oh,
than
way
I
more.
felt anyone in the like. And that's like I don't think it's like Leo's a bad actor. Obviously, that's not what I'm saying. But and that comes with like you said, just not giving them enough time together. Like it would have felt more developed and more built if we saw them doing things other than just arguing before she goes to the dance, and then the rest of the movie is him trying to find her. Like Leo does good with the emotional moments when he's by himself about wanting to find his daughter, but I agree. You don't. I would be surprised if 10 minutes is even as much as they have together. I mean, they're not in this movie together. You're watching both of their stories unfold, and that's interesting since your goal is to make a essentially a reuniting story. Like you're really relying on that moment hitting, and I agree, it doesn't hit the way that it should. I wasn't like tearing up when they find each other. I was like, okay, good, like he won.
Yeah, it's like great. I mean, they did it, but
Yeah,
it's
exactly. They did it.
definitely seen as more of a sentimental moment. Like
Yeah.
when he puts the gun down and
Hmm.
they she runs to him. I smiled.
Yeah. No, I
Like
agree.
it's cool.
It is cool. You're glad that it ended that way, but you're still just kind of missing that like good feeling. That's like, oh man, what an ending. You're just kind of like, okay, yay.
Yeah. So
And that's frustrating.
and really, those are the only problems I have with this movie. Like if you
I
have
was
any
gonna say,
more for
well,
that,
I'll get into one other one in a bit, but we this is one of the highest rated movies right now currently, and we just started the podcast off by ragging on it for like 5 minutes. So I am gonna try to switch it a little bit to some
no, that's
positive
yeah,
things
yeah.
from both of us. So I mean, filmmaking standpoint, this is a fucking masterpiece. I mean, holy shit, Paul, dude. I mean, like the camera work, the tracking shots, the everything from a filmmaking standpoint. And taking a step further, one of the best scores I've seen in a movie in a long
Hmm.
time. I was blown away by the score of this movie. There's the one scene. It's around when he first finds Sensei, where you they played the score was
The
playing for like
piano.
10 minutes straight,
Yep.
10 minutes straight,
Hmm.
nonstop, and you don't even fully understand or realize it because it's putting you so into the intensity and the chaos, and you're just watching, and then you're like, has the score been playing this entire time? And you don't realize it because it's so like natural and it just fits it perfectly. So the score, I mean, holy shit! Like I looked it up. It was done by Johnny Greenwood and PTA. Those two, Paul Thomas Anderson. Those two, holy shit! I mean, what a score! But yeah, back to what I was saying. My first point, you don't see a much more standard like filmmaking pro than this film. I said I could see this movie being one that like film professors use to study how to use tracking shots, how to use specific shots, camera work, all that fun stuff. So yeah, I'll let you add
No,
in.
the technical elements of this movie. I mean, that's another point of
Yeah.
where I see the vision of this movie. I mean,
Yeah.
this is one of those movies that just has that feel. Like it kind of
Hmm.
just has that like that rich feel.
Hmm.
And I said this too in mind that I kind of said that, I talked about the Phoenician, we reviewed the Phoenician scheme together.
Hmm.
And this reminded me a little bit of Wes Anderson, how the movie was shot cinematography wise. There's a
Yes.
couple scenes where it's just, and like I said, because Benicio del Toro, just maybe that's
Yeah.
why it would reminded me. But there's a couple scenes where it's like those, like those wide shots where it's
Yes.
expanded and where they're, like when Willa and the one girl, I can remember, but they're at the church and it goes
Yeah.
silent and you can see her sitting on the wall and you can see the officers running in the door and it's silent.
Yes. Yep.
That was an
Yep.
incredible moment for
Yep.
cinematography. The car, I don't know if you said you didn't like the ending very much, but the camera work on like the car chase when it goes
Uh,
down and up the hills,
yeah. Yeah. Incredible.
that's peak.
Incredible. Incredible.
I have never seen anything like that before.
That's not what I disliked.
Okay.
That was some of the best suspense building I've ever seen in a
Yeah.
scene. I mean, he's literally saying, "Are they gonna come up? Are they gonna come up? No, he's not there. They're gonna come up." And then when you get the one shot towards the end where it shows both the cars and then it shows Bob, you're like, "Oh fuck! Now we're moving." Like
Yeah.
that. I was about to get out of my seat. Like that was incredible camera work, dude. Like it's just insane. Like people talk about how good Paul is, and like, yeah, I know he's good. Like I'm not saying he's not, but like when a director takes such a large break and you haven't seen a movie from him, like it, I feel like it's you're like expecting a lot. Obviously, like he's a
Hmm.
well-known director and he's come back with this big movie, but I don't think I understood like just how good he is behind a camera until, I mean, the opening scene in this movie. You're kind of like, I don't even know what this movie's going to be about, but I know exactly that it's going to be incredibly made. Like
Yeah.
for all I know, the story if this movie was shot the exact same way and the story was just dog shit, I still would probably have given this like a 3 because of the camera work and the elements alone. Like,
Dude, Aftersun? Sorry, that's
it,
a hot take.
damn. No,
I like Aftersun, so
yeah, no, it's just like it's just shocking. Like it's one of those movies where you know immediately you're like, oh shit, this is gonna be good. Like this is just gonna be good. And that's kind of leading into my next pro, which was oh shit, where'd it go? There it is. We kind of mentioned this too with the characters, but the acting, like I think Leo is incredible. Like, yes, we don't see people get time together, but like when they're by themselves, I think Leo is amazing. I was absolutely swept off my feet by the unexpected humor of this movie. I was
Hmm.
laughing my ass off. And Leo, holy shit, incredible performance. He was hilarious. The whole bit where he's with the guy on the phone trying to get
Dude,
the
that's
code.
so good.
I was crying laughing at that. That was hilarious, dude. So incredible acting out of them. Benicio del Toro, I love his role in this movie. It's small, but it's so effective. And he's just every time he would like look at him and like bow or like I
Dude,
was
the
just
people want to
laughing.
see you. And he goes,
Yeah.
the, that's
He's
so
just
good.
and when he's like telling him to jump into the car, he's like, three, Mom, three. He just shoves him out of the
He keeps
car.
looking over.
Yeah. And so I mean, and that's like the humor I'm talking about, but it's just the acting in general. I mean, the acting is great. And I think you can pencil in my opinion, Sean Penn for supporting actor. I think his performance was amazing. I mean, funny enough, that's part of what one of my last con is, but it's not because of what he did. It's something about his character. I'll get into it. But
I was gonna say we haven't talked about him yet. I figured we will.
wow, wow,
Yeah.
what a performance from
No,
him. I'll let you chip in.
I saw. I don't remember exactly who said it, but credits to them. It- you have an argument for every person in this movie that this is their career best, and I
Oh
think
yeah.
that's for sure something that is worth looking at. Leo, I think is
Mhm.
harder because like
It
I
is
mean
tough.
it's the magnitude
He's
of Leonardo DiCaprio. He's like all timer,
uh-huh.
but it's still really good. Chase Infinity. This is her
Yeah, no, we
debut
didn't mention
movie.
her. Yeah,
Her debut movie. That is incredible. And that's why
incredible.
I wrote in my review like we're gonna get new movies from like Miles Keaton and
Mm,
her like the
hmm.
debut talent this year. I know we've done a lot of movies, but there's been a lot of good like rookie
Yeah,
incredible stuff. So I'm that's Teyana Taylor. I mean, we didn't get to see. I kind of like that. We didn't really see her character much. I thought she was really good. I liked her. I mean, like I just think that everybody, Sean Penn, you're right. It'll be tough to overcome him in the supporting actor role this year. I'd even argue that I think Leo is almost taking the
hmm,
lead. I know we haven't gotten a lot of Oscars talk, but
hmm.
the lead actor category this year is going to be stacked, and I
Yeah,
think this is going to be. I think now he just jumped into the lead, which is it's way too early, but it's really good. But just the acting in this movie is incredible. And one more thing before I go back to you, the
yeah.
score. Um, yeah, it was really good. And it's kind of the Dunkirk effect where you can hear the clock
Hmm.
ticking in the background the entire time, where just you eventually just drone it out, and it's
Yeah.
adding to that tension. That kind of it reminded me of because you forget
Hmm.
it's there.
Hmm.
Like you said, you're just listening and all of a sudden you doot doot, and you kind of just focus for a second. You can hear it going, changing the notes, and it
Yep.
goes with the whimsy of that scene where he's. I'll get into that a little bit because I want to save that, but that was I don't know if you have another point, or else I can bring that one up. I don't know.
Go ahead. I think you should bring that up. I'm
Okay.
curious.
I was gonna say the best movie or best part of this movie.
Hmm.
I think the chunk of time, it's a long chunk of time, but
Yeah.
when Lockjaw gets to Bacton Cross, when they're
Hmm.
planning
Hmm.
their flight and they get there
Yes.
through when he gets arrested, about I don't know 45. It's probably about 45 minutes when he falls off the roof
Yes.
and gets
Yes.
arrested.
Yes. Yeah.
And it's when the piano is playing for the entire time.
Yes. Yes. It's the entire sequence of following him
That
around.
that is a 5 out of 5 act.
Oh,
That is a
that's a six
perfect
out of five act.
it is a perfect act
Mhm.
of movie. The story there is peak.
Yep.
It's incredible how it just feels like it's not, but it feels like it's a 45-minute one shot because everything is just
Yeah.
happening so much and the tension is
Hmm.
going and all
Hmm.
that story is unfolding and you're seeing the immigrant thing that Benicio del Toro's character is
Yeah.
doing and
Yep.
it's just all unwinding and it's like how are they going to get out of this?
Hmm.
There's so much. It just keeps building and building and building, and
Hmm.
that's where I was. Before we started talking about the coil, that's exactly what this point was.
Yeah.
Um, but that 45 minutes, I don't know how long it is specifically, but I think
I
I'm
know what you're
gauging
talking
45
about.
minutes. That whole section,
Yeah.
peak. And
Yeah.
that's my favorite part of the movie. I had to make a note of that in my review.
I think you make a, I mean, right at the top of my head, I can't think of specifically my exact favorite part of the movie, but that is easily one of the most like moments that stands out. And you talk about that one shot feel. A lot of it is one shots. I mean,
Yeah.
like it's not like the whole thing is a one shot, but like you're following them as they run through Benicio's apartment, as they run through all the building. You're seeing all the immigrant families that are in there. You're seeing when he goes all the way through, and then in that same scene, you get the hilarious scene where he's on the phone with
Hmm.
I mean, and then I like when he first gets to the sensei and he's like in his dojo in the middle. And he's like talking to him, and they have that scene where they turn out the lights, and you're still like following like how dynamic of
Hmm.
scenes, dude. I mean, you're
It's a good word.
there's literally nothing that could stop him from shooting a scene. Lose the lights, whatever. He'll use the shadows. He'll use the fact that it's lose the audio. He doesn't need the audio. He's got a score that's not stopping. Your
Hmm.
actor, he turns off the lights. You can't even see the actors except for their outlines, and the acting is incredible. How do you do that? Like the shots are awesome, the humor is incredible, the acting is great, and you're so locked in. And I love the twist of having Bob fall off the building. Like not something you would ever expect to happen. And then
Oh
he gets
yeah.
arrested. I was like, holy shit. And when he fell off the building, like I was once again laughing out loud. Couldn't believe he just biffs it and falls off the building. I'd love to see how they got that shot because that is the most authentic fall off a building I've ever seen. I think Leonardo DiCaprio fell off a building. But
Her
yeah,
stunt
no, I
actor at
mean,
least did for sure.
yeah, that's just that's textbook filmmaking. Like that's one of those scenes that I'm talking about where you could study this. You could take it to a film
Hmm.
class, you could study it, I mean, there's not really anything that I think you can really like point out that's bad about that. I think this is an objectively incredibly made movie. You can dislike this movie. I don't think you can argue that it's not well made from the filmmaking aspects. Like,
Yes.
you can't look at those shots and be like, that's not very good. No, you just can't say that. Like, you can
Yeah.
dislike the story, you can dislike the choices, you can dislike the characters, whatever. You can give this a half star for all I care, but do not complain about the film
You can't
aspects.
say
Do
it
not complain
looks
about
ugly.
no, there's not a shot in this movie where it's not visually stunning. Like everything is, and that's something that I love that he does as well. Sorry to go off on a little side tangent here, but every shot, there is so much in it that you can look at. Like you're never going to get bored looking at a shot. You could pause it and you could look at several different things. You can look at several different shot, like just details within the shot. You talked about the wide ones where they zoom out wide. I think specifically of the one towards the end with Lockjaw and the like the assassin, the bounty hunter guy. And when they're in the canyon and it zooms out and it's just them standing in the middle and you're hearing the audio as if you're right there
Oh
listening to
yeah.
them, but it's just the two of them.
Hmm.
That is an incredible shot. I mean, that is an amazing shot. And you just got to sit there and take it in. And it's like every shot in this movie is just shockingly
Yeah.
dynamic.
Uh,
So I'll let you go.
no, I just had something I completely. Oh
God
yeah, yeah.
damn.
I didn't
Yeah.
even mention the walk that Sean Penn has
Yes.
for the first time, and then the symmetry of. I mean, it's not spoilers. His daughter doing the
Yeah.
same walk to him.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
dude, that's
Such good
good.
writing.
And
Such
dude,
good writing.
the screaming like orchestra
Yeah.
in a theater, like that's hard to replicate. I kept waiting for all the great movies have that moment where you're like,
Hmm.
okay, I get it.
Yeah.
That the symmetry between those two scenes and the loud,
Mhm.
violins or
Oh, the
cellos, I think,
loud dude.
and you can just see his eyes and he's like crying, and
Yeah.
because it's we know the secret and everyone else doesn't know the secret,
Hmm.
but it's also a mystery at the same time because it's like we
Yeah.
know there's something there but not fully, and then
Mhm.
to replicate it with Willa. Oh dude, it's
Oh, I'm
so
getting
good.
goosebumps, bro.
No, those that's probably my second favorite part of the movie
Yeah.
is that how they tie those two together, and then the tension of the DNA test, and
Yeah.
I guess you can probably get into your Sean Penn stuff now. That's how you write a villain, is when
Yeah.
you don't want him to be the dad.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's
I don't know if you agree with that, but for me, I was like,
I'll get into that here.
okay,
I'll definitely get into that. But one thing I did
okay,
want to say is you just reminded me of the incredible part of the score or the violins and it was so like cinematic, the build up to
hmm,
that moment and I mean like it was loud and it
yeah,
was just so grand. Like it was so perfect. But yeah, I'll just get into here to what is probably my biggest con of the movie, actually, other than what we were
here we
talking about
go.
earlier. Yeah, I'll see if you disagree or not. So I talked about earlier, I struggle with the characters other than Bob and Willa. As much as I think that Sean Penn does a really good job, and I love the concept of like who his villain is and everything that comes out, I think everything with the Christmas Adventurers Club is ridiculous. I dislike it. I think it's added with the sole effect to essentially spoon feed to you that this is the bad guy. Because before that, he's a morally gray character. He they could have written that he is this horrible, racist, bigoted person, but instead we see in the beginning he was in love with Beverly. Like
Um,
he's not race he is racist, but like it's not like you could have written it that you could have made that
I,
a lot worse. You get what I'm
I think
saying? Like
I think I know what you're saying. Yes.
she chose Beverly chose to have sex with him. Like and that leads to like that was not you get what I'm saying? That could have been way worse. That could have been horrible.
I yes, I
So
see what
what
you're
I'm going
saying
with
now.
that is I think while I think that Sean is does great with his role and he's a good character, I think this whole side quest of let's try to throw him into a white supremacist cult is so obnoxious and it's almost like and it leads to some of the most unnecessary things. I hate the fake out death at the end. He got shot in the forehead with a shotgun and he flipped like 30 feet in his vehicle. And he gets up. And the only reason we bring him back is just to gas him out. By the way, not very subtle reference there. The white supremacists gas him out. Whatever.
That's well. That's you finish.
They bring him. I don't like bringing him back just so that we can show the white supremacists win in the end because they kill him off. I think the Christmas Adventures Club was useless, other than giving some extra intensity to be chasing them at the same time. I wish that would have been written differently because it's like it's like they think if they didn't spoon feed you that, you would not think he's the villain, which is not true because they wrote him well enough to where I believed he was the villain with like the stuff you were talking about with the daughter stuff and then just his acting. His acting is menacing. He
Yeah.
feels like a villain, and then all of a sudden on the side, he's trying to join a white supremacist cult, and you're like,
Mm.
I was like, so I guess the moral where I'm going for that is like I don't want you to hold my hand through your villain. I don't want you to force your villain onto me and tell me this is the bad guy, this is the good guy, because that was something else I mentioned. This might be controversial as well. I think Perfida, her name's Perfida, right? The mom, Perfida Beverly,
It's like
or
Perfidi. I don't really. Perfidia,
whatever.
Perfidia, Perfidia. That's
Okay.
right. That's right.
I think she's just straight up like a bad person, like in every instance of this movie. Like, I
I mean,
get
that's
the
how she's
idea.
set up to be.
Yeah, I get the idea of like freedom fighters, and I get the idea of fighting for what you standing up for what you want. She's the only one that is just straight up like committing terrorist attacks and like killing in it. Like they literally make a point to show you the scene in the bank where the guy's crawling on the ground and she just kills him. Like no one else is doing that in their group. She is clearly and that's intentional to me. That's to show that she's the
Mm,
far crazy side of that. And then Leo's the one that's trying to settle down now and have a
mm,
family. Like, so I don't feel anything towards her other than like, and that's why that letter scene misses so bad because I'm like, I think she's a bad person. And now she's like, maybe someday we'll connect. I was like, you shouldn't want to connect with this person. Like, she's not a good person at all. But whatever. Where I'm going with this is like, I just think they were like afraid that we wouldn't understand that Sean Penn's character was the villain. When in reality, I think you need to let him do that. You need to let his acting do that. You don't need to include the Christmas Adventurers Club. You can write something else in there. It just felt unnecessary. It felt tacky. It felt over the top. So I'll let you go now. That's how I felt about it.
I'll say a lot to unpack there.
Yeah, I went off. Sorry.
No, that's fine. I mean, it's
Yeah, 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 yeah.
your review. I think I didn't write it in mind, but I do think it's fair to say that they did lack subtlety with the villain.
Mhm.
Because not to reference Connor again, I'm sure he'll be happy if he listens.
Yeah.
I think he makes a good point. I hadn't even considered it. Is that the villain isn't really that dynamic because
No.
it's very unambiguous
Mhm.
because they give you that
Mhm.
um backstory. And not the backstory, but
The
when
motive.
we get to present time and he's invited to this group, I do think it's a little on the nose.
Mhm.
I guess I just I don't know, for some reason, like, I think this happened last time where I was just like, you make a val. I think it was Long Walk where you said something and I was like, oh, I
Mhm.
mean that makes sense.
Mhm.
It just didn't really affect me.
That's
like
fine. Like I don't.
like
I'm not trying to
I
win you over.
no, I know. I think because I mean, you're right. It is not subtle. I think that's probably intentional, and I get why that would bring
Hmm.
people away. I mean, this is a movie that seems like it's maybe metaphor driven,
Yeah.
and that was definitely one that isn't
Yeah.
very hidden. And I think, like, I mean, the whole movie is a revolutionary against like fascism and
Yeah.
like white supremacy. Like, I mean, I
Yeah.
think it's pretty easy for a lot of people to. And I'm not saying you're not like I didn't
Yeah.
mean
Yeah.
by that at all. I think it's just to give everybody a common like we all hate that, and I think like that's just how I mean that's what most people did. Like we all
Yeah.
hate that stuff. Everybody
Yeah.
does. Um. Oh, I just oh, I like no, you kidding?
Right. I'm hearing you fine.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe cut this part.
Okay.
Regardless, I I see what you're saying. It is not
Hmm.
subtle, so I totally agree with you on that. I guess kind of like our
Hmm.
long walk thing. I didn't really like pro or
Hmm.
negative. I think it is what it is for me. But fair point. As far as
Hmm.
Perfidia goes, I didn't really like her character because I think that's how she's set up to be. I think she's intentionally
Hmm.
written, you know, as like she's her daughter even thinks she's a rat after
Hmm.
one conversation with the woman that she hasn't met before. I mean, her dad
Yeah.
is telling her she got killed by Lockjaw. Like that's
Yeah.
how she's seen her mother. And then one thing happens, she's seen as the rat. So if her own daughter is able to be swayed that easily against her character and morality, why wouldn't the average audience
Yeah.
member?
Yeah.
So, I mean, the whole that just goes back to the whole emotional part of it,
Hmm.
where I just like didn't see it
Yeah.
that way too.
Yeah.
Um, so those were my takeaways. I'm not taking a stance there really. It's kind of hard. I'm just kind of adding
Yeah.
some
Yeah.
context to what my thoughts might be for those.
Right. One thing I will say that you mentioned, you said they're trying to add that enemy for everybody of the concept
Mhm.
of hating white supremacy. I don't think you like we know that. Like I that's my point. I don't think you need to include the Adventurers Club as if we weren't already understanding. Like
That's fair.
and that's where I felt almost offended as in like they thought we weren't clever enough to pick that up. It's like you don't need to show me and they give you the whole secret lair in that guy's basement. Like, oh my gosh, come on, bro. Like we get it, dude. Like you don't need to do that. It's so hidden and they have this stupid ass name, the Christmas Adventurers Club, and you get the most like old ass white guys just to be racist. Like it just feels so like just default. Like and I would expect so much more out of PTA than that. Like that's what it frustrates me is like Sean Penn is the kind of actor that you don't need to explain why he's bad. Like let him act. He will do it.
Mhm.
I promise. And he does it. He does great. I just think I don't want you holding my hand to say, look at this guy. This guy's racist. This guy wants
No,
to be a white supremacist. I was like,
yeah,
I get it. He's evil.
no,
You don't need to do that.
I agree. He was written well if you ignore that because I mean we see him.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah. Yeah.
like you see the hypocrisy, and that's one good part of it where they didn't need to be like, okay, Lockjaw's a hypocrite. Like they didn't need to actually say that because
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
is the one ambiguous thing where it's like they don't
Hmm.
explicitly tell you. I mean that kind of goes
Yeah.
back to the walk where everyone's like happy that he's joining and nobody knows yet, and he's
Yeah.
crying, and it's like,
Yeah.
and that's really good because we know that he's a hypocrite, and
Yes.
that's how you do it right there.
Yes.
And then you do get a little bit convoluted down there, but they did, like I do now agree kind of that
Hmm.
it did just feel like you maybe didn't have to add it. I don't know what you would do instead. Like I'm not trying to rewrite the script or anything, but I
Agreed.
do think that it's like it can be a little much as far as presenting it to us.
Yeah.
Like so, I don't know, but because he did like
Yeah.
he could have been a way more dynamic character. I think he's already a pretty well written character. I mean, he's not a good person,
Yeah. Yeah.
obviously, but
Yeah.
um, so yeah, I see what
Well,
you're saying.
the thing that I ended up thinking was if you take all that stuff out, right, that makes him a significantly more like morally gray area where it's left up to him now and his acting to make you win to he wins you over as a villain when he's allowed to compared to where we're told that he's the villain. You get what I'm saying? Like
Yes.
morally gray characters are always the best because there's so much to try to understand about them. Because on one hand, if you get rid of all that stuff and you don't think he's racist, you don't think he's this white supremacist, on one hand, you look at him, he's trying to figure out if this person is his daughter. Yes, he's a bad person, but he's trying to figure out if this person's his daughter. He's following along with exactly what the government tells him, and you're wondering what his motives are. On the other side, he is clearly an overly aggressive, like he's hunting people. That's obvious. Now you get to decide from his acting what drives his motivations.
Mhm.
We did not need you to be like, well, I'll tell you exactly what drives his motivations. He's a white supremacist. It's like, what? I get that. Like you can do that. And honestly, they could have done it anyways, but the club is what pushes me over. Like they could have just pushed that he's just racist and I would have been like, "Oh yeah, this guy's clearly a horrible like you can tell this guy's racist."
Mhm.
But when you make this elitist club, it's just like like it just feels so
It does lose
like
subtlety. You're right. I
yeah.
mean, I see what you're
And
saying.
it's not like it, like I said, I gave it a 4.5. It's not like I was like, ah, fuck this
Mhm.
movie. Like it was just like, oh, man, like that just felt. And then that, like I said, that leads directly to the ending part that I don't like, which is him just magically surviving this shotgun shot and then just getting gassed out in an office. Like what the only
Yeah.
the only thing I see why they do that, the only thing is if they're trying to send some kind of message that like this dark message that somehow the elitists win in the end. Like, what's the point of bringing him back so that way the elitists can successfully take him out?
No,
I
that's a part I definitely was like, I
I don't
mean,
get that.
it was a
It feels
twist,
unnecessary.
and I was like, oh yeah, I mean, like he's alive, I suppose, whatever. I,
Yeah,
that kind of just like it just added to that head scratching part where I was like, I mean,
yeah.
was that a Shawshank twist? Was that a one of those elite twists in movies that like it's not.
No, it's not. Like, why don't you have Bob take him out? Bob's not done shit but chase his daughter in this movie. Let him do something. Like, you could easily have had Bob show up towards the. You could have had this
Well,
intense
I
scene
mean, that
where
goes.
Bob ends up or not Bob, Lockjaw could be not attacking his daughter, but doing something with Willow and have Bob save the day. Like have you just don't need to fake out his death in a very unrealistic way. No shot he survives that, but and then just you just watch him get gassed in an office. Like
What if he
I
missed the shot, Gabe?
okay, let's say he did miss the shot. You're not surviving that car crash, bro. He flips off like a 30-foot drop. Like there's just no shot. I was just like, oh, there he goes. And then he
No,
comes, you see him walking down the road later. I was like, what?
I wish you had seen Honey Don't because that's like almost a replica of what happened. Not actually, you don't actually see the car crash in Honey Don't, but there is a crash very similar in a
Yeah,
desert off a cliff, and the car is upside down. I was like, man,
yeah.
that's exactly what Honey Don't did.
But I mean, I just think you just from someone like PTA, I expect better writing than a fake out death at the end. That's my point. I expect something to come together better. And that wasn't even that big of a con, but the whole Adventurers Club is directly responsible for that because they're the ones that chased him. They're the ones that tried to kill him. They're the ones that ultimately get like you just don't need that. That feels that takes away from the story that I'm enjoying with Bob, Willa, and then the rivalry against Lockjaw. Instead, it becomes Bob, Willa, Lockjaw fighting the Adventurers Club. Now he wants to be with them again, and now they're killing him. Like, it's like I don't know.
No, it's definitely like
It's just
you
strange.
definitely scratch your head a little bit about it, and that kind of just goes back to where I
Yes.
just feel like I see the vision, but I didn't execute fully for me, and that just, I mean, that happens.
Hmm.
So, um,
Hmm.
I
Yeah.
don't know.
I mean,
We covered a lot of
it's
my
I don't
points.
know.
Sorry, I think I'm lagging.
Hmm. Trying to decide if I have any others here. Man, that my what was your okay, let me ask you this. What was your like favorite aspect? Like your favorite whether it's the film, the camera work, whether it was the score, whether it was the acting, whether it was a certain scene. Like what was one of your favorite if you had to pick one, your favorite thing about the movie?
Favorite thing? I mean, it
Yeah,
has to
just
be
individual thing.
I think it has to be the cinematography.
Yeah.
Um, I just think that the way it's shot makes it feel so reputable. As
Mhm.
that's that word. Ah, man, one aspect, yeah,
Yeah, I know. Tough.
probably the filmmaking aspect of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. What did you have? I'm guessing you had something.
I already raved about it a lot, but the score. I mean,
Oh,
I
okay.
couldn't believe the score. I don't know, man. It helped that I think I unintentionally saw this in like one of those not IMAX, but like the better than normal quality theaters.
Oh,
I
yeah.
think I accidentally saw it and that and didn't realize. Like I was like, man, this screen's really big.
Oh, I was in a
But
nice theater for mine.
yeah,
It was the best
it
one in
was a
my
nice
theater.
theater. So maybe that just amplified it, but the score just man, that's some of the best work I've seen with the score in a long time. I mean, I might like the score of like Dune Part 2 more, but like the way that the score was used in this movie was just perfect. Like it was
Yeah.
every scene was and even their needle drops of like specific songs was perfect. Like
Oh, yeah.
it was
Yeah, the
just perfect.
soundtrack was really good.
It
Yes.
was just exactly what you want. And I mean, even the sound design, like just everything from an audio standpoint, I was like, wow, that is incredible. Like I love what I'm hearing. This is how you do something like this. But that's really tough to pick over cinematography. I mean, like you said, the cinematography is outstanding.
It's really early to make Oscars predictions. I know I follow it pretty intently. I don't
Yeah,
know
yeah, yeah,
how keen you are to follow it, but um, this doesn't want cinematography.
yeah,
That one category has to be locked. Like I
yeah.
don't even know. Like I know there's some big hitters coming out. Like this is award season. Like right now, all of the big
Yeah,
hitters coming out right now.
right.
I can't even. I can't even think of another movie that would tackle this right now.
I can't either.
As far as ones I've seen a fair amount. I don't know.
I've also seen a decent amount, not as much as you, but I've seen a decent amount, and no, there's just this is like I said, this was one of those movies where you could tell in the first like 10 minutes, you were like, holy shit, like you could just already see
Mm-hmm.
that the cinematography was going to be elite. And at no point are you, I mean, it just gets better. It just gets better. And then you're given that final shot with the car chase over the hills where you're just like, this is like some of the best. It's kind of how I felt when I watched F1 and there's like that final race at the end when Brad Pitt and you're seeing it from his perspective and it's driving on the, like that there's that moment where you're like, wow, this is
Mm-hmm.
so well done. Except this was better. I mean, I like F1 more, but
Oh yeah,
this was
I
this
easily like
was
F1 more.
yeah, yeah, but this was made. Oh man, that's even tough to say. This was made better. This was made better, but F1 was
I think
absolutely
I
fantastic.
enjoy the cinematography of this movie
Yeah,
more than
yeah.
F1, but I think I like F1 as a movie in its entirety more.
I have F1
That's
rated higher than
probably
this,
we would
so
probably be in the very low minority on
we
that,
both
but
have F1 higher. It's what can we say?
dude, it's a
But
cool ass
no,
movie.
this this is an incredible movie. I mean, this is a great movie. Like
Yeah,
it's
yeah, no,
not. Even though I gave it a 4.5, I do agree with you that I think it might be getting overrated. Like
I think it's
I
overrated.
I was close. If I was giving like a 4 point rating, it'd be like I would say it's like a 4.3. So like I'm just over where it would lean to 4.5 instead of
Yeah,
four.
I'm like 4.1.
Yeah,
Would
yeah,
probably be like where I was at. Uh, if not a four flat or like a 3.95.
yeah, yeah,
So it rounds up. I mean, it's
yeah.
close.
I'll say this too. I remember saying this to the buddy that I saw this movie with. I don't think I would want to see this too many times over. Like I do think it would potentially. This isn't one of those movies that I'm like I need to see this again. I think if I saw this again, I would maybe lower it. Like I don't want to think that way, but it kind of feels that
See,
way.
I think I put this in my review. I made sure to make a comment of this. I will probably rewatch this
Yeah,
when
that's
it
totally
gets
fair.
nominated for 8 Oscars, and I'm I want to recheck it out to see how I feel about
Yes.
it in
Yeah.
contention with other movies. So
Yeah.
we'll see then. Because I don't think it's worth checking out a lot, but I think
Hmm.
it's worth going to watch again. I will probably be watching it again.
Hmm.
I don't know if the rewatchability, like that's two different things, right? I feel like I have to check it out
Yeah.
again to
Yeah.
like gather my thoughts more versus,
Hmm.
like I just want to turn this on for fun. Like it's not like it's not like that.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, I agree. Like I said, I mean, honestly, I don't know if I'll ever see it again. I get what you're saying though, and I definitely agree, especially with what you said about the rewatchability factor. It's just not high. It's not like this is like a movie that you're gonna walk away from like, yes, like what a day, like what a feeling I have right now. But it is the kind of movie that you're gonna be like, that was so well made that I would be willing to watch it again. So I guess that's kind of where I'm at, but I don't have any plans to go
no,
see this again. I'm gonna leave it where it's at. 4.5 might be, this is crazy to say, but 4.5 might be a little high for me at the moment. But like I wrote my review and that's what it came out as. So I'm like, I'm gonna rock with
It
it. So
it feels like one of those movies like our kids when they're 14 are gonna be like, oh, this movie has really good reviews. We're like, oh yeah, yeah, we should watch that together. And it's like it's like
yes,
that's when you rewatch it. It's like you're like,
yes.
oh yeah, that's a classic. Let's turn it
I
on.
haven't seen this one in a while. That's exactly how it feels. I agree with that for sure. But one last note I wanted to make before we kind of send it off here.
Yeah.
I know I mentioned this earlier, but I I was very charmed by the comedy. I mean, we talked about this a little bit earlier. I think that was necessary. I do think this movie would have struggled if you didn't have the comedy. I think it would have been too serious. I think it would have been you would have been relying too much on your actors to constantly carry the load of like intense scenes. Whereas I mean, there was almost constant. I mean, almost every scene has something that's funny in it. Like, and that's so good. Like, it's so funny. Like when Lockjaw and Willa are in the church and they're like discussing whether or not she's the daughter, and she's like, "Why is your shirt so tight?" He's like, "I'm not gay." She's like, "I was just asking. I'm not homosexual."
Oh
Like he
yeah,
just
that.
starts
Oh yeah,
yelling about,
that.
like that was hilarious, and he just keeps yelling at it. Like he's clearly insecure about it, but there's just always something that is helping you stay
Mhm.
connected to the film, whether it's comedy, whether it's just good acting. But the comedy, I mean, you had me from the get-go with that. I was worried this was going to be a super dramatic, intense movie only. So the comedy was like you couldn't have done much better with that aspect for me at least.
Yeah, I think I'll end up with another thing. Like I said with the Long Walk, where it was nice to have one of these movies. Like for Long Walk, it was nice to have to be back in that like teen sci-fi movie. For
Yep.
this, it's nice for people to all almost unanimously agree. Like it's nice to have a good movie.
Yes.
If it's how I felt about Sinners, where everybody was going to the theater,
Yeah.
everyone was having fun. You
Yep.
know, it's just it's nice when you see a movie have support. Like more we
Yep.
need more original screenplays. We
Hmm.
need more movies like this where everyone's like going to the theater and seeing it. So that's
Yeah.
I'll leave it with that or a little like positive note where
Yeah.
it's just nice that people are talking about a movie.
Yep.
That's always fun. So
I couldn't agree more. I mean, we want people to go see movies. Obviously,
yeah,
we do this podcast because we love movies, but it's not like we're not gatekeeping them. We want everybody to go
yeah,
see movies, and this is one that's it's worth seeing. Like
yeah.
it's worth checking out. Everyone seems to agree. So definitely definitely a good movie. I mean,
Yeah.
if at bare minimum we're just talking about the filmmaking aspects, it's worth checking out. So yeah, I mean, since we started with our ratings, I think we can just go ahead and wrap it up here.
Hmm.
I
Do you
think
have
that's
any
pretty good.
summaries to do you want to do a summary
Yeah, no, we
post
can
or
do
do
a
you want to do
summary. We
like
can do a
a I don't
summary.
know. I have a summary, but
Yeah, you do yours first because I don't have one.
okay, fine, sure,
But
yeah.
I'm listening, so go on.
Okay, you're fine. So I put
Yep.
in summary, I'm just having a hard time wrapping my head around like the reception of this one so far. And I'm
Mhm.
sure around awards season, like I said, I will revisit this and see what changes. I liked it. I I, I think it warrants the great rating that I gave it as a 4. I think I just struggled to connect with it emotionally that I do with other higher rated movies. Like it's like we said, the cinematography elite. There's the section in the middle that is elite with the tension. I, I just think that some of the high selling points for like sentimental moments really fell short for me, and which is a shame because I'm glad everyone's liking this movie. So
Mhm.
I did give it a 4, as I said at the beginning as well. So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, this is one of those movies that, as I mentioned in this episode, I could see it getting studied in film classes because of how incredible all of the filmmaking aspects are. Paul Thomas Anderson behind a camera is an absolute magician. I mean, everything just looks incredible. The score was my biggest takeaway from this movie. It just truly shocked me. Johnny Greenwood and PTA made one of the best scores I've seen in a movie in a good while. But there were issues. Yeah, I had problems. This wasn't the most perfect movie I ever saw, but it is totally worth your ticket. It's worth your time. Leo doesn't do movies unless he thinks they're going to be good, and that continues here. I mean, he is good. He is great. So very good movie. Definitely good. I will agree a little bit though that it might be getting a little overrated with people talking about it's like one of the best movies of the last decade. But don't get me wrong, great movie.
Mhm.
So okay, well, we can end it off with there. Of course, as always, we really appreciate you guys checking out the episode. If you guys had any big agreements, any big disagreements, any points you wanted to make, please comment whether you're watching this on YouTube or if you're on Spotify or if you're just seeing clips on social media. But as always, thank you guys for listening, and we will catch you guys next time.